Good evening.
This is Channel 7 News. I'm Greg Harper.
And I'm your other anchor, Jacqueline Au. How are you tonight, Greg?
Oh, I'm doing just well. How about yourself, Jacqueline?
I'm good. I love your facial hair.
Oh, thank you. And I really like your makeup.
Thank you.
And the world is full of news today. Why don't you tell us a story?
All right. Our first story is about the slump in productivity. This is due to women and teenagers in the workforce who are not as productive as males.
The Vietnam War is also a disastrous conflict. It's been draining American dollars that are supposed to be for education of the children. How sad.
Sad. Another sad thing is that the oil prices have been rising and
Inflation,
it's totally inflating the inflating the currency here.
What is our country going to?
I don't know.
Well, here's Casey Carlson with a special report.
Casey?
Thanks, Jacqueline. I'm Casey, here with
Billy,
And how old are you, Billy?
16.
Tell me about production, Billy.
Well, there's a lot of idiot kids out there who kind of just working to get money for drugs, and there's also a bunch of women out there who don't know what they're doing when they're working. And basically, it's all making it so that the products they produce are really bad.
Aren't you one of those kids?
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, hi, Mom.
I'm Casey. Back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Casey, for that insightful report.
What an intelligent young man we just interviewed.
Yeah, Billy was great. Hey, on another note, what's new in the sports world?
I'm not really sure, Jacqueline. Let's go to Holden Tamsham with the sports.
Hello, sports fans. A little bit of sad news today as 11 Israeli Olympians were killed in a Palestinian terrorist attack today in Munich at the Olympic Games. 4 of the terrorists and a police officer were also killed. Earlier today, we interviewed a German police officer, and this is what he had to say about the incident. Explain what happened here today.
Well, there was a security breach today in the Israeli team camp. 11 athletes were killed in what was believed to be a terrorist attack by Palestinian extremists. An officer who was on security for the team and also 4 of the believed terrorists lost their lives in the attack. Hopefully this security breach doesn't stop the games from continuing, but the events that happened today will rain heavily on everyone's mind throughout the games.
Yep, and you've heard it. Sad news. We'll go back to the studio.
Thank you, Holden, for that update. And our deepest prayers go out for all the families who lost loved ones in this tragic event.
Oh my god, Greg, do you like my haircut?
Oh my god, I love it, Jacqueline. But anyways,
it's nice.
Here's Doug with a special report in China.
Doug Snyder, or also known as Rip Studwell here, with a monumentous occasion as Nixon discusses terms of agreement with China's Mao Zedong, including less American involvement in the Taiwanese fight for independence. Hopefully this peace could lead to be a precedent for the end of the Cold War. Back to you.
Thank you, Doug, for that amazing interview overseas. With Nixon going overseas, it clearly exemplifies his new policy of détente, which is lessening Cold War tensions. Nixon is doing this by, of course, traveling overseas and meeting with leaders of communist countries, and we're a democracy, so he definitely is making an effort to relax the Cold War tensions. And on another note, Greg?
Well, another story we have today is President Nixon is taking a more active role in expanding the welfare programs in the USA. Among these programs is Medicare, which is money for old people for their medical needs, Medicaid, which is money for poor people and their medical needs.
Also, Nixon has passed this new legislation that ensures people that invest their money now that in the long run, even with inflation in the economy, their money will still be like worth the same amount of money. So
protection for the citizens.
Protection for the citizens, and just ensuring that when they invest their money, they're not taking a huge risk. This legislation is known as Social Security.
Among the foreign issues in our world, Nixon has issued a policy of Vietnamization in the war in Vietnam, where the 500,000, troops in Vietnam are being withdrawn over an extended period of time.
Another foreign issue is that in Cambodia. Cambodia is a neutral country. Yes, but Nixon got a little power hungry and sent in troops there. Now, him sending in troops without anyone's knowledge, really, has caused a huge uprising at Kent State. And he decided to send in all these troops on April 29th, 1970. And that was under that plan. You know what plan, Greg?
No, I don't. Can you tell me, Jacqueline?
The Gulf Tonkin plan.
Oh, wow. That is a good plan.
Yes.
I think we got a field reporter on it right now. Let's
We
go to
do,
Case
we do.
Carlson in the field.
Casey.
I'm here at a local anti-war protest, and let's talk to one of these guys. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hi. What are you doing here today?
We're protesting the war. I mean, yeah, love not war, you know.
And why do you think that Nixon keeps sending troops over to Vietnam?
I honestly don't know. I mean, let the Vietnamese, let them figure it out, you know. Bring the boys back home, right? Yeah.
Bring the troops home.
And the war.
Bring the troops home.
Bring them
Stop
home.
it. End it. This is Casey Carlson. Back to you, Jacqueline.
I'm bored with this cat.
I'm bored with these chores.
I wish there was something to do.
I know. We could play Pong.
Oh, this technology is amazing.
This is so fun. I like this better than cats.
This is so much better than doing chores.
I don't think I'll leave the house anymore. I mean, it's everything I need.
Don't you have homework, Holden?
Who needs homework? I'm playing Pong right now.
Pong from Atari.
In other news, many right-winged politicians and states' rights advocates are charging the Supreme Court justices of being too lenient and too charitable when it comes to the issue of privacy of the individual. Foremost among these complaints is the court's decision in the case of Engel v. Vital when they outlawed required Bible reading in public schools. Many believe these new developments give too many rights to the individual. Still more are thrilled with these new rights they now possess. President Nixon, however, has promised a more conservative Chief Justice when Earl Warren retires. Back to you, Jacqueline and Greg.
Back on the subject of Cambodia, America was shocked to learn that in 1973, the U.S. Air Force had secretly been bombing North Vietnamese positions in Cambodia, over 35,000 bombing rates. Countless Americans are beginning to wonder, what type of representative government do we have here in the U.S. if they're fighting a war that we do not know about? Wait, this just in.
Oh my god, breaking news! Nixon has just won the 1972 election by a landslide. Every single state voted for him, except Massachusetts. Here's Holden Tampton with an in-depth report.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Nixon truly did win this election in dominant fashion, winning 520 electoral votes compared to McGovern's 17. I'm here with Casey, our political analyst, and tell me why Nixon won this election.
Well, Nixon won this election because he promised to end war and restore peace in Vietnam. He did this by promising to reduce the troop levels and bring peace to Vietnam. He mostly appealed to the elderly.
Why did McGovern fail to capture the attention of the nation?
Well, McGovern, who appealed to the younger voters because he promised to bring all of the troops out of Vietnam, but many of the younger voters did not register to vote, causing him to lose. And also, his vice president, Thomas Ingleton, had to undergo psychiatric care, forcing him off the ticket and pretty much dooming him from the start.
Pretty much this is a one-sided race, and so we have Nixon back as president, back to the studio.
Well, I think that's about it, Jacqueline.
That just about wraps up our evening newscast for tonight.
And from all of us here at Channel 7, remember, the Soviets are always watching you.
Watching you.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Oh, when I come home at night, I vote for Gloria tight. Yeah, you can call me on the phone. I'm trying to avoid it, and the people on TV see me. Can't go in, or am I just paranoid? shout.